Ivan Katz here at Bluemont Disc Golf Course, and today I'm going to play the intermediate white tees to the blue baskets, and I'm going to talk about which discs I throw and why I throw them, plus give you some very useful disc golf techniques for sidearm, forehand flickers, and also of course right hand, backhand. But don't worry, whatever your style of throwing, right hand, left hand, forehand, backhand, you can use these tips to improve your game. So let's get started. See the basket up on the hill there? It's 387 feet away, and that's called the mound. It's on top of a hill. Sure, it's straight, but it's awful long, and there's a lot of problem trees along the way as well. So it's tough, but I think we can do it. Well, the rock is a mid-range, but in this case, a mid-range roller got me from the tee pad over here and a nice distance down the fairway, and still a long, far distance from the basket up top, but at least I'm in the middle of the fairway. Okay, let's see what I can do for the approach shot. Okay, great approach shot with the Wraith. Pretty much a drop in and got me through the trouble tree here, the Bluemont trademark, and now I should have an easy putt in. Okay, wrapping up number one, I threw the rock as a roller, which means I made it roll, of course, and I did that by giving it some big flick and giving it a lot of anhyzer to get a straight angle and make it roll on down the way. And it did. Good stuff. I have a whole video on the roller, so check that out elsewhere on YouTube. And for you right-hand backhanders, the way you get a roller is you just basically do this right here. Same angle, but opposite side. Still anhyzer for you. This would be hyzer for right-hand backhand. This is anhyzer, so that's how you throw a roller. Again, with the flick, and give it as much as you can and make the disc work for you. Then I came along with the Wraith, which is a driver. Many people would not use this here. Now, I don't have as much strength in my backhand, so oftentimes I use drivers when I'm faced with an 80, 120 foot putt like that. So that's what I did, and I was able to get this to go ahead and turn over for me because it's understable. That means it tends to turn over instead of being overstable, which tends to curve right. And I was able to work that, get it through the tree, and right on to the mound here for the easy putt in. Okay, on to the next one. Number two, the silver and blue baskets are very close, but it's uphill, 242 feet only, but very difficult because you've got a lot of trees and brush. Some people try to sneak through here. Most people just go up and around, maybe either through here or around this tree. Let's see, how should I do this today? That worked. Well, I decided to throw two here, my Hex Rakuten and my dependable and understable DX Wraith. Let's see if I can put them in for birdie. Okay, wrapping up number two, I decided to throw two discs to show you that you can go around each way with the trees in the middle, sort of. So first, I had my Wraith, and it's a DX Wraith, normal plastic, great for entry-level players, and it's exactly what you need to start off with disc golf. You should have a Wraith, maybe a Leopard, something that's understable, and you should also maybe have a Shark or my Cobra. I love that approach disc, but definitely a putter as well. Just pick your favorite, try some out, and then pick one. Throw your friends if you don't have any. That's a good idea. Go with your friends to the park. Anyway, so the Wraith started out understable, through that little TP on the right there, straightened out, went right at the target beautifully. Throwing uphill, you always want to look at your target. Don't look at trees, don't look at anything you're afraid of hitting. Look at your target, and your body and your arms and your brain will get you there. Okay, that's a big tip. Don't ever look at what you don't want to hit. But throwing uphill, you also have to give it some extra power. It's always farther than you think when you're throwing uphill, so be mindful of that, and also be mindful of that when you're putting, which we'll talk about in a second. But anyway, I threw the Hex Rakuten, which is really a very versatile disc. I can make it really do anything. Likes to fly straight though. Just give it a little bit of hyzer, a lot of power, and it straightens out. Gets you that nice S-curve on the end, and gets you some great distance. And the distance wasn't so great today because I had to give it a lot of hyzer to get it around that tree. But I did, and it set me up for the makeable birdie, as you see. And in terms of the putt, I used the Vibram Summit, a great putt approach, was able to get me there, and then my trusty 86 putter. Very soft, very flexible, and I just love the way it flies. But remember, when you're putting uphill, always look at the basket, pretend that it's a person maybe you're throwing a disc to. That will get kind of the psych out dimension of the basket out of your head, and just go for it. Throw right at your object and spin the disc. That's what discs were designed to do. They were designed to spin. Don't just touch it in there unless you have an object like water or something behind you and you're afraid of going into that water. That's the only way you want to kind of lay it up and just go high and let it sink. But go for your putts, especially uphill. You need extra power. Okay, we're going to the mound again like we did on number 1. On number 3 here, and we're doing it from 279 feet away at the top of this hill right up here. But you've got to make it through and around all of these trees and bushes, and it's ultimately kind of right through here actually. So it's tough, but I think we can do it. Okay, well, I would have liked more distance out of my Cobra, the mid-range, but still, it got me pointed straight at the basket, right at about the circle, probably just under. The circle is 10 meters, 33 feet, and outside of that, you can jump putt. So I can't jump putt here, I don't think, but that's not my style anyway. Okay, wrapping up number 3 here. Started off with my Cobra, and I threw it with some hyzer. Gave it a lot of power because I know it's going to flip up, turn over. It's a beautiful disc. Does exactly what you tell it to. Sometimes you might even want to turn your wrist over. You're not supposed to do that for distance, but sometimes if you guide the disc a bit left, then it'll go a bit left. But this disc naturally turns over, so it did the right thing. Not quite as much distance as I would have liked, but it did get the turn and get me pointed straight at the basket for a nice birdie putt with my 86 putter. On to the next one. Number 4 here is tough. This is actually the silver basket, and the blue basket is actually up and over and down this hill. So 294 feet and a dogleg right. So you've got 2 Mandos here, one here and one at this tree right over here, and you have to be on this side of them. So it's tough. You got to go around and then up and around and down that hill. Well, nice shot with the Hex Rakuten, but not perfect. And there's a tree in the way of the basket right here, but it's definitely makeable, about 45 feet. Okay, wrapping up number 4 here. Started with the Hex Rakuten. Again, this is my disc that straightens out and does a nice little S-curve, which it did here. I put a little bit more hyzer on it to get it to turn right. It ended up off over here in this clearing, which gave me a 45-foot putt or so for my rock here. Nice mid-range Does a lot of stuff. You can play a whole course with a disc like the Rock. This is a DX, so it's inexpensive too. And you can really play entire courses with these mid-ranges. Excellent discs. And sometimes great putters too. Number 5 here, you almost have to take my word for it, but way up there on the hill is the Blue Basket. 350 feet. Pretty straight, but not easy. Uphill and a lot of trees in the way. Okay, good shot with the Mamba. Got me through lots of the trees, but still a long, far way from the basket here. Probably about 125 feet or so. Okay, so nice approach shot with the Halo Air here. Threw it with some big Anheuser, let it curve around. Got me a good distance, about 20 feet to the basket. 4 trees in the way, so I've got to lean around for my best shot at it. Okay, number 5 here is always really tough. Uphill and a long ways to go, lots of trees. But I got it started with the Mamba here. This is a great disc, great driver. It definitely has a tendency for a little bit of overstability, but will adopt different personalities as you throw them, as you hit trees with them. So this one tends to have an interesting path, straighten out, and then maybe even turn left and do a little S-curve as well, so it gets you some nice distance. Followed it up with the Halo Air. Certainly not many people would use this as an approach. It's got little air bubbles in it, which makes it kind of nice. It's like a blizzard, say, but I threw it with definitely some Anheuser. I let it go ahead. It's very overstable. I let it go ahead, straighten out, kind of go straight, get me around those trees, which it did, setting me up for the putt with my Vibram Summit. Tough, but we did it with a par. Well, you can't see it really, but number 6 is down that hill, 297 feet, and it's quite a tough drive because you've got a curve in there, so it's really hard to stay that straight course and also get around here. Let's see what we can do. Well, the Starlight Wraith got me throwing around the trees, but still about 65 feet away from the basket, and a lot of trouble on the normal flight path here, so I'm going to have to come up with a different plan perhaps for this 65-foot birdie putt. Okay, wrapping up number 6 here. Started off with the Starlight Wraith, and that was able to wriggle on through the trees and the slight bend in the fairway, and then it rolled down and gave me a nice lie for a very difficult, actually, birdie putt. But the Rock here is a great mid-range and also serves as a great putter. Breaks at the end, and that gave me the ability to go ahead and make that very difficult birdie. So definitely not easy, but a good result there. On to the next one. Number 7, 297 feet, and sort of a gradual right turn from, of course, the white tee pad, intermediate. Blue is up here, a bit further, and I'm at the red tee pad, but white over here, 297 feet. If you had to draw a straight line, it'd probably be right through here, but of course, can't. Got to go around this way. Let's see if we can make that happen. Okay, the Halo Air fought its tendencies to curve right, being overstable, and was able to get a long way down the fairway here, curve around, and about, I'd say, 60 feet to the basket. Would have been better if I was going to the silver basket, but oh well. 60 feet, a possible birdie. Okay, so wrapping up number 7, white to blue basket, halo air, which I threw. Its tendency is to be overstable, which means for a forehand flick, it's going to turn right. If you were backhanding it, it would turn left. So to counteract that, you use either some flat or a bit of hyzer. Now, depending on your power, many powerful players can go ahead and throw this either way on a hyzer and it'll flip up. But I'm not the world's most powerful player, so I need to compensate for that overstable, and to get my distance, I give it a bit of hand hyzer, which this way would be just a bit like this, or about flat, which is how I threw it. Was able to go ahead and curve around, dog leg right, and get far down the fairway, which enabled me to take my Vibram Summit and go ahead and put that in for the 60-foot or so birdie. Now, of course, you're not going to come out here and throw birdie after birdie after birdie. In truth, this was the second putt that I threw. I missed with my 86 putter. Not by much, but I did miss. And you're not going to come out here and even on your first, second, or third try be able to get a birdie. Of course, disc golf is played with only one shot, and one shot only, and that's what makes it so difficult and challenging, and that's why we love it. So, of course, when you're watching my videos, sometimes I do actually make birdies, but sometimes I don't, and I'm throwing multiple discs because I want to talk about their tendencies and my style of throwing and how they can help you in your game. Okay, on to the next one. Number 8, straight down 344 feet from the intermediate white tee. Trees are pretty tight here, so you got to be careful. And various trees down the way too. But it's really not as easy as it looks because of that. Let's see what we can do with it. Okay, so wrapping up number 8 here, we've got a destroyer, and this tends to turn over for me, or at least turn up. It still is a bit overstable, but I can certainly get it to turn over and even get it to be a little bit more understable in its tendencies just by the way I release it. You can kind of turn your hand over a little bit and that sort of thing, but usually you just want to use the disc's natural characteristics. Overstable for me is going to turn off this way, and understable is going to turn over. So sometimes it's much easier to get distance with a turnover disc, understable, but oftentimes also you can throw something with some extreme hyzer and then it'll turn out. So there you go. It's of course opposite for the right hand backhand. And then the putt in with the Cobra with some flick, and it's very important just to look at your target. Your body, your mind, everything will get you there. Sometimes I can make this Cobra do whatever I want, and you can see a whole video review on this Cobra. But in this case, I just looked at my target in 120 or so feet and got the birdie out of it. Not easy to do, of course. Of course, I'm not throwing just one shot here, but you can do it if you just watch your target and let your body do what it should do to get your discs where you want them to go. On to the next one. Nice little roller with the Valkyrie here. Very versatile disc. I have a whole video on it. Check it out elsewhere on YouTube. But interesting shot. A lot of trees blocking, especially at this angle. As you can see, if I come over here behind the disc, there's a lot of debris. But I think I can hit it with some sort of flick here. Let's see. Alright, thanks for watching. this disc golf tutorial from the white tees to the blue baskets at Bluemont Disc Golf Course. Don't forget to watch all of my other videos and also subscribe. Check out also my other Drivin Ivan videos and various documentaries and literal video, music videos here on YouTube also. And please follow me on Twitter and Instagram and also my Facebook page. I'm Ivan Katz.